30 minutes, we'll be discussing Cougar Hoops. Quite a bit to talk about, a look back, and of course the big challenge with Crestwood coming up. That and more following these messages.
Operation Unload. Inventory overload.
At Berger Mazda in Hazleton.
Too many cars, trucks, vans, and sport utility vehicles.
Too little time. More snow will come.
Time to unload the overload.
Unload pricing and payments on all new Mazda vehicles. No exceptions.
All vehicles included.
Stop in and test drive a Mazda today.
Drive on your own terms. Operation Unload. Inventory overload.
At Berger Mazda in Hazleton. Drive with experience.
Some traditions are worth keeping. Do you remember when your doctor came to your home? Well, that same service is available to you today by Dr. John J. Haber. In addition to house calls, Dr. Haber has expanded, creating a new state-of-the-art facility at 52 East Market Street, Tresco, where new patients from infants to adults are welcome. To schedule an office visit or house call, call 459-2070. Evening hours available, most insurance is accepted, handicap accessible. Dr. John Haber, where you can still get the care and compassion of yesterday with the medical technology of today.
Wooly bully! Wooly bully! Watch it now! Watch it now! Maddie told Maddie about the things.
Employers, are you tired of getting workers that do not meet your expectations? Well, wait no more. Call the Procure Personnel Services. We specialize in getting the right person for the right job. Whether it be the industrial or the healthcare market, we provide qualified workers with quality positions in less time. So why wait? Call 450-7400. Procure Personnel, the professional cure for your employment needs.
Some combinations are so perfect, it's hard to think of one without the other. Like hot dogs and mustard. Or popcorn in a movie. And, of course, mom and apple pie. Well, here's another. Broadband service from Prolog Express and digital cable.
Call Service Electric for digital cable and high-speed internet today.
Digital cable and Prolog Express. Now that's a perfect combination.
Fran Labonati back with Coach Live, and Coach, big week, of course, already has passed, and big one coming up. But let's look back. Coming in Wyoming Valley West, of course, the most recent game, big victory because we reversed the loss. But I was very much interested in the Wyoming area game. Reason being, over the years, they've played Cougars very tough. And it's interesting because I think the fans should know that was your approach. I know from a coaching viewpoint, the approach, of course, was the same. But I'm wondering, Tyrell George did not play against us at our home court, yet he had played, and we know maybe one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league. So here you are. He's not playing in this game. He did play on his home court. You guys handled him rather handily, and now coming in, and he's not going to play. Does that do anything with your preparation?
Well, it really doesn't do anything with the preparation, but it's an excellent question because, again, you know, kids are expecting to play an athlete like Tyrell George, and then he's in street clothes there. You don't really know if he's playing. As a coach, I'm thinking, I'm wondering too, but you know, we'll find out soon enough. It came to our attention before the game that he was not going to play, and so it was good to know that going in. And I told the kids, I said, oh, you know, really he hasn't been practicing, so he might not be in that kind of physical condition. You know, we got to play them tough. They're a very good basketball team. You know, obviously he had played not only, he's not one of the better players in the league, he always plays well against Hazleton. So it's twofold. And I think he was averaging about 20 points, 12 rebounds in the last 3 games against us. So it was an advantage for us, for him not to be playing in the game, but sometimes that can work against you. Kids, you know, let down, they want to play a little out of style, out of context of what we would like to do, and that wasn't the case. We had a very good ball game.
Okay, see, I'm glad you cleared that up. In other words, it was a game-time decision. You weren't aware of it until the game. I thought possibly that we had known a few days before that we would be playing, but that makes it even more interesting.
Well, he was not, he had not played the 3 games prior, and coming in, we weren't sure if he wasn't going to play. He was dressed, and it looked like he was ready to go, like all the other kids, but then he, you know, did not, you know, dress out. So very good basketball player, probably be back for the playoffs for, you know, Wyoming area, but our kids were ready to go and to set up the big game, you know, with Valley West and then, of course, with Crestwood.
Yeah, it's interesting because we'd mentioned this so many times before. Since you've come back to the area, going back to the old Hazleton High School, it looks like certain teams for a period of time would challenge Hazleton or Hazleton area. The one constancy has been the Cougars, or at one time the Mountaineers, always seemed to be in the mix. Going back, if I recall correctly, your first year or two back in the area at Bishop Auburn was very, very tough. Of course, Nanticoke, extremely tough for a long period of time. Then, of course, Coach Quinn, Coughlin, really tough. Pittston, year in, year out, always a difficult opponent. Tunkhannock had the one great year when they were very difficult. And, of course, Wyoming Valley West, consistently good athletes. But it's interesting because while those teams have all had a shot, as we said before, the one consistent factor has been our Cougars. And I think that really a tribute to you, because we look, and later on we're going to have Kaiser Zamora, who I think is someone we can be so very proud of, where he represents Hazleton area Cougars, really a gentleman and an outstanding basketball player. But the cast of characters has changed, but the script has remained the same. Every year, and I know at the beginning of the year, the coaches looked probably not too highly touted. I guess Crestwood was looked upon as being a toughie, Wyoming Valley West and Wyoming area. And then maybe you'd say, well, and possibly Hazleton area.
Well, they always mention us, but certainly the Crestwood was the odds-on favorite, getting Robbie Myers at 6'8" to transfer in, and you know, some of their key players back with Foy and Kowalski, Heslin, a real good shooter, Bogomil was back. So they were the odds-on favorite. People mentioned us. They try not to forget us, because when they don't, of course, they know I use that subtly with the team. And we know the story from last year when Coach Brogna said, someone else will win the league, it won't be Hazleton. And I just kind of waited to use that, and it was used several times. And of course, we did win the league, but he promised, he said, Coach, you taught me a lesson, I'll never say that again. But you got to watch what you say at press conferences before the season.
Well, of course. So you're looking even this year with Ryan and Kaiser, the only two seniors coming back. I mean,
Right.
you had an excellent ball club last year. So again, they'd have to figure some other teams in there. But getting back, Wyoming area now, as we said before, at the beginning of the year, they had to be possibly mentioned in the same breath with the Cougars and Crestwood. And you always stated that always gave us some difficulty. Not only George, but it seems like even playing up there. So a huge game. Kaiser played extremely well that ball game. Mike didn't have the high scoring game, Mike DeMarco, but played well. You had a couple of threes again from Mark. And it seems like each game, different guys have picked it up.
Right, Kaiser's been playing his best basketball the last 5 or 6 games, and that's been real helpful. He was, I believe, our only player in double figures in scoring against Wyoming area. A couple guys were like 8 and 9, and you know, Mike does other things too when he's not scoring. I mean, he's always there. It's expected of him, but they've certainly led, along with J.J. Gundry. The three of them have done an outstanding job. J.J. had the monster game against Valley West that we'll talk about, but Kaiser's been there each and every game, like I said, at least the last 6 games, and always plays well and hard, but he's led us the last 5 or 6, and Michael DeMarco early on was, you know, leading us in scoring. So the 3 actually in conference play, Michael DeMarco, Kaiser Zamora, and J.J. Gundry are averaging in doubles.
And going back to the Wyoming area game, I wonder now that George did not play, did that alter your defense at all?
Absolutely. I mean, we were going to start in like matchup. We stayed in that, but without George there's more things you can do. I mean, you can match up better man-to-man, obviously. He's a tough, although Michael DeMarco does a nice job on him, he's a tough match there. He's a tough man-to-man match for us, and for anybody when he's right. So, but they have other people. Falzone in the lane is a big kid, you know, football player going to Syracuse on a football scholarship. Nice basketball player also. And one of the most skilled offensive players also they have is Fasciana, a 3-year starter, who really gave us problems. I mean, he scored well, and we had trouble stopping him. So they're talented, not only with Terrell George, excuse me. Their point guard's name is Brooks, and he's very good, but not only with Terrell George. They have a nice team. They're a little down right now. They're not playing real good basketball, and I think they could do something in the 3A playoffs, at least in the district.
Well, they'll have George back for that.
I would think so.
Right, and I'm wondering offensively, how about with him not in? What type of defense did they throw at us?
Well, they played some man, and they like to play 2-3 zone, and they mixed that up, but played a lot of zone, and probably more so than if he would have been in there.
Okay, I'm wondering now, Kaiser had the big game that night. Was it basically outside, or was taken inside without George being in the line?
Kaiser has been hitting outside shots. He's been rebounding very well, been very active on the boards, and I think that's been a key, along with Gundry.
Okay, Coach, we're going to be back to take a look at the Wyoming Valley West game and the upcoming Crestwood Challenge following these messages.
Deb and Greg's invite you to bring the family to taste their delicious homemade food, offering a wide variety of soups and salads, hoagies and sandwiches, wings, pizza, including their delicious chicken pesto pizza. Deb and Greg's is proud to be the home of the Cougar Burger. Deb and Greg's, located on the corner of Wyoming and Tamarack Streets, open 6 days per week with daily specials. Walk in hungry, walk out happy. Deb and Greg's, 122 North Wyoming Street, Hazleton, 454-6299.
Macias Chiropractic Health Center. Dr. Michael Macias specializes in work and sports-related injuries. Located at 601 East Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. Phone 501-9108. New patients welcome. Experience the difference.
Discover the world of sports at Bob's Sporting Goods, where individual courteous service and attention is still a tradition. Come in to browse. You'll be amazed at the selection of merchandise crammed to the ceiling. Baseball, hockey, soccer, darts, basketball, football, fishing, hunting, footwear, t-shirts, shorts, and sweat clothing. Lettering done on the premises, plus state-of-the-art embroidery. Bob's Sporting Goods, 133 North Wyoming Street, downtown Hazleton. Call 455-1421.
Spaniel & Associates, certified public accountants, family-owned and operated for all your personal and business tax accounting and payroll needs. 213 East 9th Street in Hazleton. Give them a call at 455-8559.
What makes a good neighbor pharmacist a good neighbor?
I'm part of your community.
I know my customer
By name.
I listen.
I have the answers to your questions. And above all,
I care. With over 1,700 locations nationwide to serve you, trust the healthcare professionals at your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy.
Tuscus Homes is proud to sponsor winter sporting events for 2006. Sand Springs Golf Course Community has a new village of patio homes available this winter, along with spectacular single-family and townhomes. If you're looking for a new home out of the area, we invite you to visit Eagles Landing in historic Nazareth, PA.
service.
Service. MetroCast means guaranteed service.
Guaranteed service.
Dedication.
Experience.
Local customer service. By people you can depend on.
Local service that satellite TV doesn't offer.
We listen.
We can do it.
Count on us. People right here in your community.
We keep you connected to the world.
And to your neighborhood.
And we do it with a single wire.
MetroCast Communications. One wire and a single bill.
Tyrone Supermarket has been serving the area since 1941, providing you with the freshest meats and best products. Tyrone Supermarket is located on Alter Street in Hazleton. Call them at 455-1565.
Fran Labonati back with Coach Live. Well, Coach, big victory against the Wyoming area, and you had to feel pretty good with that. But then again, Wyoming Valley West is coming in, and they had beaten us up at their home court. Rather interesting right now. The only unbeaten teams, of course, Hazleton area and Crestwood. And it's interesting to note because Wyoming Valley West looked very good. Wyoming area, as we said before, tough. I notice your protege, Mr. Clark, is doing an excellent job with Berwick. They're in a lot of ball games, and I think we're going to see that team begin to come up in future years. He's done a great job. Wyoming Valley West, any changes? I personally feel, I know that you as a coach probably don't have much planning in this because you very seldom lose to anybody. But I always felt that when you lose to a team, generally the advantage goes to the team that lost the next time they play. And I know that you haven't had much experience because I said before, you generally have swept the opposition. But what's your theory on that?
I think you're probably right, especially at at high school or college level. I mean, the NBA, there's so many games. But high school and college level, especially high school, firsthand knowing that, Valley West beats us up there on their court. They're coming down into, our gymnasium, and that's obviously for kids on their team that haven't been down there. And Clocker, I know they didn't get a lot of playing time last year. Kufta is a sophomore point guard. he was a little under the weather. But they're coming in there, Anders, they're JV players. Micus is experienced. Some of the guys, Morgantini played last year. So it's a little different, and our kids were really ready for the ball game. We knew we didn't play our best game up there. I don't think Valley West could have played any better than they played in the first half game. They shot 63% from the field, and that certainly was the high against us all year, including Crestwood. So first half, we was pretty hotly contested. They were up at the half by, I think, 2 points. And we played a great second half against Valley West.
That's interesting. Going back to the percentage they shot against us, is this primarily with your matchup and man? Because very, very few teams shoot that well against our defense.
We really started in man, played matchup. No matter, it seemed like whatever we threw at them, they were really ready for us, hit the boards. I'm not going to say we weren't ready because we're always ready, but we had to put a charge on. We were down at one point in the game, I remember 33-19, and the third quarter, then put a charge on, cut it to 5, but, then they hit some free throws at the end, and we lost by, I think, 7.
This was more of a customary game, too. Kaiser doubles, Mike doubles, and JJ must have had a tremendous game. Maybe you could comment on that.
Coming back here, again, last Friday night, first of all, J.J. Gundry had, as a sophomore, his best game of his young career, which I think can only get better, with hard work. He had 14 points, 14 rebounds, a couple blocks, great game. Kaiser, again, played very well. Michael DeMarco actually came back. You're talking about when you win as a team, they expect it from you all the time. Well, it's kind of the way it is with really good players like Michael and Kaiser and leading players like that. Michael, if he was scoring 16, 18, pulling down 7 rebounds, 5 assists. That slipped a little bit, but he was still playing well. But he had a real nice game against Valley West. He was back like the old Michael DeMarco.
Now, Clocker had a real huge game away from home. What differences or what adjustments were made? Because you guys basically took him out of the game at the Cougar Lair.
Again, we played more matchup. Gundry, Kaiser did a great job around him. He scored like 3 points. He had 20 up there. Didn't have many rebounds. I think he had 1 field goal. That was it, and 1 free throw. And so we kind of canceled him out of the game. He didn't play as much. Coach had him out, had Morgantini in, and maybe for outside shooting had another kid in. They usually had 4 guards in. But they were, as we played up there, we were trying to play catch-up. Sometimes you take bad shots. They were doing that down at our place. They were, trying to play catch-up. A lot of times you force threes, and Micus was doing that, who's their best player. Very fine player, but taking a lot of bad shots to try to catch up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, our foul shooting has been excellent, too. You had a real great week at the line.
Definitely, and kids that are getting fouled, like Kaiser, Gundry, J.J. Gundry's taken his foul shooting percentage up 12 to 15 points in the last month. Just tremendously. Kaiser's been doing the same. Michael's a very good foul shooter. Mark Scarcella, excellent. So we have a nice foul shooting team.
I'm glad you brought up the three-point tool a little earlier, Coach. Interesting, I think I mentioned to you off the air. I was really shocked last week. Great collegiate game, Notre Dame, West Virginia. But the shocking stat, because you go back, played in the late 60s, 70s, where as a guard you'd like to go to the basket every once in a while, then would open up for your jumper outside. But in a staggering statistic, with about 3 minutes left in the game, Notre Dame and West Virginia combined for 60 three-point attempts, and only 6 foul shots combined. So it shows the game has changed dramatically.
Right.
And I really think at the collegiate level, they have to move the line back. It's become longs and shorts.
Yeah, I would agree with that. High school 19-9 is fine. I think to have it the same in NCAA doesn't make too much sense, really. Move it back maybe to 22 feet. NBA, of course, beyond. But I think it's got to be moved back, or the game, like you said, you forget going into the paint anymore.
It's longs and shorts. I just want to mention, too, Dick Phelps had a little disagreement with Jay Bill. It's pretty interesting on the night on a 3-point lead. Notre Dame was up by 3 against Louisville, did not commit the foul, and then Dean hits the 3 to tie it, goes into overtime and lose. And the Coach Phelps said, in that situation, you have to foul. In other words, you're up 3, let them go to the line. Jay Billis, I think, brought up a pretty good point. He said it depends. Situation, you foul too early, they could come down. Even if they just make one and miss, you get into a situation, you're forcing foul shots. I wonder your theory. Of course, this is high school. That might be a little different.
How much time was there?
There were like 21 seconds left.
Yeah,
now, he said, Billis said, let it come down to maybe 6, play real good defense. And tell them you're going to stop the 3. Coach Phelps said, no, get out, commit the foul. You got to take control, he said. As a coach, you got to tell them, I want them on the line, and all good things have to happen. They have to make the first, miss the second, rebound it, tip it in. I always feared they rebound it, tip it in, you may foul them. The kid goes to the line, you could actually have a 4-point play and lose.
A lot of people, it seems to be 50-50. A lot of people like to foul. I personally don't like to foul there because, number one, you're stopping the clock. And you're winning the basketball game, you're stopping the clock, you're putting a kid at the line in a dead ball situation. Obviously, the clock is stopped, and then some of the scenario that you're talking about could take over. You better have a really, really good rebounding team. Big guys that can get in the air, or, tip balls. A lot of things could happen there that I don't like. So I'd rather play strong defense, and then if you happen to foul, you foul, but not intentionally.
Okay, Coach.
Unless you have something to waste, of course, then obviously.
All right, very good. We're back to talk a little bit about Crestwood and have Kaiser Zamora following these messages.
People, economics, and you.
And remember, class, no one beats a fairway deal. No one.
The most powerful and revolutionary digital mammography the world's leading radiologists have been talking about is now here in Hazleton, and it's only at Hazleton Radiology. Dr. Joseph Chotla and Dr. Donald Patton, both experts in the field of radiology, are proud to bring digital mammography to Hazleton. So when your physician prescribes an MRI, CAT scan, mammography, or any other diagnostic studies, choose the best. Hazleton Radiology, the only place in Hazleton to offer you digital mammography.
Remember one other thing, Rusty. No one beats a fairway deal. No one.
Making memories after all these years. Third base.
There may come a time when the most important thing you need is medical equipment.
When I needed my lift chair, Hazleton Oxygen and medical equipment was at my door in no time.
At Hazleton Oxygen and Medical Equipment, we specialize in all your durable home medical equipment needs. With over 100 years combined experience, we'll provide you with the prompt, reliable service you need. Have your physician order your home medical equipment from Hazleton Oxygen and Medical Equipment, 459-4300.
Fran Minotti back with Coach Live and our special guest, Kaiser Zamora. Kaiser, welcome to Roundball Digest. And Coach, thanks for bringing a good-looking guy up here because it's really, I've been a little tough carrying you this year. First of all, Kaiser, congratulations on a great career. You're someone we're so very, very proud of. I hear so many wonderful things about you as a student athlete. So I'm going to talk a little bit about your great work as a student, favorite subjects, and of course you've always been an honor roll student for us.
Okay, thank you. My favorite subject is math. I really like math because it's just something that I really like, and I just can just look at the numbers and do it, and that's why I like math.
Okay, now you're one of the tri-captains. I was talking to Coach Live. I really like the way you're dressed tonight. It looks very sharp. And he mentioned that you guys basically decide, you and Ryan and Mike, as to the way you want the team to dress, and you like a tie for both the home games and the away games.
Yeah, I always like that, so we can be the same way all the time. So for home game and away game, we always the same way. Okay,
you look very, very good. I want to mention a little bit about Crestwood. I guess you have to feel pretty good because, Coach, last year he had an unbelievable game up there. I think you made a great switch, or at least you made switches on, I think, 2 starting positions. Might have started Kaiser and Joe Stanavich. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that
Kaiser,
game.
yeah, it was Actually, probably the day before. It was practice before, or maybe 2 days before, but said Kaiser and Joe would start. And mainly for defensive purposes, I thought we needed more aggressiveness, and Kaiser and Joe definitely gave us that. But Kaiser decided to go up there and pop in about 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 blocks. And Mark Girolan, who's a friend of mine, who's an assistant up there under Mark Atherton, he was in charge of scouting. And really, he had Kaiser scouted, and Mark wasn't real happy about it. And Mark Atherton and Mark Girolan came up to me after and said, where'd this kid come from? And he'd been there, he'd been playing JVs the year before, but he needed an opportunity. He was playing maybe 3-4 minutes at a time, and then for a while he wasn't playing very much. But I was very happy I gave him the opportunity again to play, which I knew I would have eventually. He certainly came through big for us.
I think you faced the basket real well, Kaiser. For a boy your size, normally you wouldn't expect to have the great outside moves. Is this something that you developed from an early age? I mean, you have the real good three, you drive to the basket well, you play, and you rebound well.
Yeah, I always like to shoot threes because just out there, nobody likes to play defense, so you wide open, you just throw it out.
Okay, very good. And you convert an awful lot of them. How about defensively? You guys play the matchup most of the time?
Yeah, we always play matchups because we have been working on it, but we're going to keep working on it because we have to improve on it.
Okay, now with Crestwood, I guess you realize quite a challenge, but evidently you feel pretty good going up there because, as we said last year, tremendous amount of pressure on you, and you guys came through well.
Yeah, I think we're going to do well this time because we're ready to beat them. So.
All right, down here, when the only game you lost, I guess, in the league at home. Am I correct? And of course, over the years, it's
only
been very...
home game we lost this year, actually.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's very tough to beat the Cougars. I again, like the chances. I know that Crestwood's going to be prime. Coach, you have anything that...
It should be a good ball game. We're ready to go. The kids, it's certainly not a game where I have to get the kids pumped up. I mean, they're already jacked up, certainly, and it'll be a game where it'll be fun because I know the kids will be ready and both teams will be ready, and it'll be like playoff atmosphere. And this young man is just a pleasure to coach. And again, his teachers seek me out in the halls just to tell me what a great kid he is, what a nice young gentleman he is, and that's always nice to hear.
I've heard that. My son-in-law, Mr. Ritz, said that the school had said that before about him. Again, he said these are the kind of people that Coach Leib wants on the ball club, representing Cougar High, and I think he does a great job in doing that. So really tremendous plus for the team and for the entire school. Now with Crestwood, what do you think that they generally play man?
Yeah, they like to play man a lot, so going to be ready for it.
Okay, and I guess that you basically feel if we play our game, I like with Coach, that great line you have about respect everyone but fear no one. I guess that's how you feel, Kaiser, going up there.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
Okay, how about defensively? You think the matchup and man will probably work pretty effectively?
Yeah, I think we can beat them this time because we're ready for it. We got defense, so we're going to be right there.
Yeah, Coach, I'm wondering, do you think that there might be anything Crestwood would throw? I mean, because Coach Atherton, again, as I mentioned before, great program.
He plays, he's been sticking with man. Sometimes they'll trap off the men, but that's his defense now. Like, maybe we're known for matchup, although we mix it up. We play a lot of man. People don't really realize that we're known for our matchup, but we mix it up more than they do. They're pretty much 100% man-to-man team, but they'll trap out of it sometimes at half court and really don't do a lot other than that. They play it very well. They're very big. That's the thing about their team this year. They're 6'8", 6'5", 6'4", and we have to rebound with them because in the end it's going to come down to rebounding and probably foul shooting.
I'm wondering, one question I wanted to ask Kaiser. With the threes, sometimes does the coach give you the license to go out there if you feel it, or are there set plays when you go out to take the three?
There are set plays, but when I got an open shot for three, I just take it.
Okay, and you feel that if it's there, and that's one thing, Coach, you have each of the guys on the team very confident in that.
Definitely, but I was amused by what he said about the defense. There's no defense out there. Kaiser will move back further. If somebody's not guarding, he'll just go out to 25. He's hit some 25-footers.
Okay,
no
so
question.
the distance doesn't make too much difference.
It doesn't affect Kaiser at all.
Okay, Kaiser, want to wish you luck. It was great talking to you. We're very, very proud of your performances at Hazelton. Great luck in the future. Hazelton area is extremely proud of you. Coach, good luck.
Thanks, Lynn.
Always great talking to you guys. Hope to see you right back out there next week.
News.